everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of My Town. We have an amazing show for you this week. We have a very, very inspiring story to tell you. And with me in the studio today are Jocelyn Alexandra and Josephine Murphy. They are originally from Rwanda, but live in Ontario, Canada now. So this story that we're going to tell you today starts in the small country of Africa called Rwanda. It takes us to the wonderful, beautiful country of Canada, and then on to the rugged, beautiful shores of Newfoundland and Labrador. And they are here with us in the studio today. We're very pleased to have you.
Thank you. Happy to see you.
I want to start from the beginning, mainly because I want people to hear your story. Mm-hmm. So I will leave it to either one of you to kind of tell me where your story begins. I know you were born in Rwanda, but tell us a little bit about the area in which you lived in Rwanda and the village in which you lived. Maybe Jocelyn, you can start. How's that?
Yes. Okay, good. Actually, we were born in Burundi.
Okay.
Burundi, that's similar country as Rwanda. We speak the same language, the same ethnic, Hutu and Tutsi. So we were born in a small village of Burundi, far away from the city. 10 children, mom and dad. Mom was a teacher, a French teacher. Dad was a math teacher. Very good family, but the more years passed by, my dad, he was more into drinking, so the relationship was not doing well, and mom and dad, they separated. Josephine and I, we were twins,
Yes.
3 minutes apart.
3 minutes apart.
3 minutes apart. We were 6 years old, and so we moved from this small little town. We went to the city of Bujumbura, and the reason why we were Burundi, because mom and dad at 18 years old, they flee from Rwanda, the first genocide, which they lost a lot of members of families.
Right.
So they're refugees in Burundi, which were not really accepted. No, it was a very poor community. You were limited to certain things, jobs and schools. You will pass if it's 70%. If you're a Rwanda person, they will put at 80. So we're really limited. So from that small town, we went to the Bujumbura. You can imagine 10 children with one person.
Ah, yes.
That was really harsh.
It must have been
very hard. Days with no food sometimes. There's on tea, no sugar, no milk, with bread. Days. School, my mom, she worked so hard to find a little just money to send us to school. Sometimes we miss school. Sometimes we miss exams. But little by little, she fought so much, and yeah,
she's a very, from what you've been telling me of your mom, she's a very inspiring lady herself, and I think that you girls have taken a lot from her life and from the way she lives her life to do what you're doing right now. Yes. I'd just like to talk a little bit about go to 1994 and Josephine and the genocide. And you were, I think, probably 15 or 16 at the time.
Yes.
So just to give our viewing audience an idea of what your life was like and a little picture of what your life was like at that time.
Okay, so we were in Burundi, which is a twin country next to Rwanda. The genocide that was happening starting 1959, where a lot of people have died. In 1990, we were actually going back and forth in Rwanda because we were Rwandans. We were visiting our families, our cousins and such. So we're back and forth between Rwanda and Burundi. And you start 1990 where there is a tension between Hutu and Tutsi, some organizers, small groups starting to stir things up again, and we actually skipped to death in 1990 when it really an explosion started. That wasn't heard very much until 1994. Yes. So again, there's a lot of happening in Burundi because it was spraying over to the next country. 1994, with the brothers being in the military trying to stop the genocide, it was spraying over that a lot of people were dying. We skipped to death. very closely. Most of the time I would walk into bullets coming off for schools where I couldn't hear for about a week because so close to my ears. We would see dead bodies around. We're going to schools, people running with tires on their heads, burning.
People that you knew, of course.
Some people that we knew, neighbors, and some of our cousins. There are 9 in the family, all of them slaughtered and killed. That you would see blood on walls just by the house you're familiar with. You go sit down, have a cup of tea, go to bed, and a lot of bad things happen that we have seen. Again, 1 million people dying in that country, small country. That is a lot of death around to the point where there were just the dogs and the birds around. You could not believe it's on Earth, but it did happen.
Tell us how you came from Rwanda to be in Canada. Tell us that little story.
Yes. So Josephine was 14 years old. She had a dream that her and I will go to Canada. So we always have that goal. It's our vision. We're gonna hold tight, and we will go to Canada. So living in that life of seeing death, not having money for school, just the poverty. It was our dream to come to Canada. So we had a chance to connect with the group that was coming to States first, and we said we want to go there. We were involved with church, music, so we went there in Texas first, and then we were doing our thing, and after that we approached Canada. We said, okay, at that time, 1997, people are still dying. Yes, it was not as a blowout in 100 days as a genocide, but you can see people dying on the bus. The bus just blew up because somebody put a grenade. So we really, as a Tutsi, you are not safe.
No.
And so we had a chance to approach Canada. We said, okay, we are not safe. Can we come to Canada? Can you accept us? And of course, Canada. The world knows Canada are wonderful people. And so we went through the papers, and we came here. We went to Toronto. That's the first time, and everything was different.
Yes.
The language, we didn't know how to speak English.
Right.
We spoke French because that was the colony from Belgium. That was French. So we came here, no money, nothing, just twins. We had each other. That's all we did. That's all we had.
Right.
But it was a great experience, and it was amazing.
Well, it took an awful lot of strength for you to
Wonderful.
do that, to leave your mom, of course, and your other siblings, to come to Canada. But as you said, what you left behind, and the reminder of that was. Now, you came here to Canada and you started lives. You both are working jobs in Canada and really are doing very, very well. And it became Canadian citizens.
Yes, thank God.
Did you go back to Rwanda in that time? So now we get into talking about a little bit about your organization called Shelter Them, which is an amazing organization.
Yes.
So we're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back and talk about that organization and all of the wonderful things that you're doing in Rwanda today.
Excellent.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
My Town is brought to you by the Wilds at Salmonier River. A little out of the way, a lot out of the ordinary. A proud supporter of community programming.
My Town on Eastlink Television is brought to you by Cupid's 400. Cupid's 400, celebrating the birthplace of English Canada.
We're back, everybody, and of course in our studio today we have two very special guests who are here in Newfoundland and Labrador on a very special mission. They are Jocelyn and Josephine, and they have an organization called Shelter Them. And of course, in our earlier discussions, we were talking about the country of Rwanda in Central Africa, and they came from there and came to Canada. And now they have this wonderful organization. So I want you to tell me all about this organization, how it came to be in the first place. I mean, I know that it was something that you wanted to give back to your country and back to the people. So tell us how it all started with this organization.
We took our trip, the first trip after being in Canada since 1997.
Right.
2005, we went back to Rwanda to visit our family. And of course, we're married with Canadians. We just want to take them back home to show them where we're from, our families. We're really excited about that.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
Yeah, very much. The first time we didn't want to go back because we didn't want to remember our memories. We said we're going to Canada. We'll never go back to that country again. We're just gonna move on. But the time goes on. We miss our families. So we decided to go back, and we went back. The first thing is just seeing many kids, thousands of kids, who are on the streets. Or in a small house, looks like a shack, nothing, no doors, no windows, just the poverty just came right in our faces, and it reminded us where we came from, where we were before. Yes, we're in Canada, we're in beautiful roads and beautiful buildings, but it was a good, shocking reminder of where we came from. So that, yes, we saw Mom, we were excited, but to go back and see it, we forgot.
So Josephine, what was it like for you to, how do you survive something like what you've seen, to be the positive people that you are, and wanting to give back? Because it's very easy to say we don't ever want to go back, as Jocelyn just said. So, what is it? I mean, you obviously have great faith as well. So what is it that makes you want to give back to a country that really you saw so much devastation?
It was a matter of a choice that we made, because based on our feelings were, I don't want nothing to do with you. I just want to move forward with my life, because everybody's ugly. They're just ugly inside. They don't get it. Why are you fighting over nonsense things? I'm Hutu and I'm Tutsi, I'm Twa, I'm this and that. That's not what we should focus on. So we're upset at that. But when we came to the reality of knowing that bitterness destroyed people, and they just go there and they stay in one box, but we want to be out of the box. Leave the freedom of this beautiful country and go beyond that and touch the people that we really should love. There are people. So that was really a matter of choice. Now it wasn't about a feeling anymore. So we chose to go back, love them, like any other situation in life that you go through. If you decide, if you want to just go out there, say me and myself and all me, why me, you won't go anywhere. But you don't want to see why anymore. You want to see how do I do it, how do I move on. We decided to move on, and we started this amazing shelter them, and it's based on a really good solid foundation of a heart that knows how it feels to be poor and to be hungry. So that's us, and that's the extended. You go into Newfoundland and in small towns, and the people are reaching out. They're seeing it as well through us. And shelter them then is to rescue and give a chance to this country that didn't have much in '94 of a response from the world, for the international communities, to be able to change them and give them a chance.
And give them a hope and future.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things that you're doing to give them this hope and a future?
Right now, we have over 60 orphans, including street kids. So we have 3 homes. We just added the 3rd home, and we have an orphanage of 45 children. So we're giving them everything. That means a shelter, number 1, food, education. When they're sick, they go see a doctor and get better. So we're giving the fullness of life, what a human being should have. And
things that we take for granted.
Exactly. Water, we're giving them everything. And who are we? Shelter them is made, people are volunteers. They have a full-time jobs. From Monday to Friday, you go to work. After work, while you're making dinner, think about it. Have those few hours to reach out to someone else. Our weekends, we have meetings. Our weekends, we're thinking about how we're going to organize dinner, how we're going to have a walkathon, how we're going to raise money to reach out to someone else. And the money's going to travel, go to Rwanda. We have Shelton has a wonderful team in Rwanda that we really trust. They believe in humanity. They believe in God's love. And we, as team in Canada, in Rwanda, we're working together to reach out to build the future of Rwanda, which our children are the future, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely they are, absolutely. And you have a website, it's called shelterthem.org, I believe it is. .com.
Yes.
Shelterthem.com.
Yes.
And there's also a group here in Newfoundland, of course, you're here, the Victoria United Church people who have come forward to help shelter them.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that, Josephine? How you came to know them? How you came to know them?
We love them so much because how we connected it through a TV interview we had a couple 3 years ago, and they saw the TV. Some of them just saw on the computer, not really live, and they connected, picked up the phone to say, "Hey, you girls, we touched our heart. We're ready to act. We're ready to do something with you, to start a journey with you." And just from the family of Jenkins, Weston Bay, Baldwin, and even more people are joining Shelter Them. They're participating in our programs, the 100 Days campaign that's running right now. They're doing different activities here in the small community, and there have been so far the #1 donors in our programs in Canada.
Marvelous.
So we are absolutely feeling
And they
like
actually
home
traveled
right
there to see the orphanage.
We went to Rwanda last year, November,
Wow.
and we spent 3 weeks. 5 people from Newfoundland, and the rest are from Ontario. We had an amazing journey.
Oh, I'm
Our
sure.
lives are changed. It's everyday change, changing lives, and it's really a big impact.
Well, it's amazing how just a dream can, what it can turn into, and how much it can help other individuals. All it takes is a little bit of, it takes heart to want to do it. And so you girls are amazing. You've done an amazing thing. And we want to thank you so much for coming here and talking to us today. And we're very pleased to be able to spread the story for you. We're going to follow you out to the mall here in Carbonear, where you're going to be doing some displays, and we're going to talk to some of those people from the Victoria United Church as well. So and your mom. I want you to say hello to your mom for me. Because I think mothers are the most wonderful people in the world.
Yes.
They really and truly are, and I think yours is deserving of all the praise in the world. So
We'll be happy to hear that.
what is her name?
Cesare
Sumiza.
Sumiza.
Cesare Sumiza.
Yes.
There you go.
You're wonderful.
I can say that.
Such encouraging.
Anyway, safe journey, and it was so nice to meet you.
Thank you for having you.
So join us, everybody. Stay with us, because we're going to, as I said, we will be traveling. We're going to be traveling with the girls to the Carbonear Mall, where they have a display set up and where they're going to be talking to the public. We're going to talk and have a little chat with some of the people from the Victoria United Church. So stay with us. We have more to come.
My Town is brought to you by the Wilds at Salmoneer River. A little out of the way, a lot out of the ordinary. A proud supporter of community programming.
To advertise on Eastlink TV, please contact Brian Daw at 786-2677.
My Town on Eastlink Television is brought to you by Cupid's 400. Cupid's 400, celebrating the birthplace of English Canada.
The Spinney Brothers will be in concert at the Princess Sheila Nagira Theatre in Carbonear on May the 2nd. They dropped by our Halifax studios for a chat earlier this week.
All right, Rick, I'll start with you. Just tell me a little bit about the brothers behind the band.
The Spinney Brothers, bluegrass band. That's I guess that's what they call us now. Myself, Rick Spinney, and my brother Alan Spinney, we're the only brothers in the band. And we go back, obviously way back, as I start to see a little more gray coming in the hair, to the early days of music for us was Mom being the influence in our life, playing a lot of country music and bluegrass music as we were growing up. As we got older, we, I guess, fell in love with bluegrass music, essentially forming a band in 1992. It was a four-piece band, and we called ourselves the Spinney Brothers in close company. Since then, we've just shaved it back a little bit to just the Spinney Brothers. It is a four-piece band for the most part. We do hire another fiddle player every now and then to come in and just fill that void, but essentially right now it's the Spinney Brothers Bluegrass Band.
So describe the music. I know it's bluegrass, but there must be something unique that you guys have to make it stand out a little bit.
It is, I mean, obviously being brothers, it goes back to, the early days of bluegrass music and other styles of music where the brother harmony, there's something about sibling harmony that if you can get the notes right on, there's a third note that is actually heard between the harmonies. So
perfect harmony.
Is that what it's called? Perfect harmony. That's what we strive for. Perfect harmony. A lot of what we do is brother duet singing. That's the foundation of the Spinney Brothers Bluegrass Band. Is that brother duet harmony and songs typical of Ralph Stanley and Carter Stanley in years gone by. The Louvin Brothers, I mentioned, another band that really isolated on that brother style harmony.
Now, starting off, you played more traditional type music, moving in more into your original. Now, just talk about the transition.
Yeah, in the early days, when we first started, of course, we listened to everybody else's music, and that's kind of how we became to love the music so much. Traditional bluegrass music, that's where we started with our very first recording. It went well, but we soon realized that in order to keep the fan base up there, I think we'd probably have to start writing our own material. And so that's what we started to do, and incorporate a few on each album, a few of our own, still mix it in with some traditional stuff, kind of lure them in, if you will. Yeah.
Now I know band lineups change as the years go on. Who's in the band now? And just tell me a bit about them, their strengths.
Sure.
What they had in
well, Gary Dalrymple is from the Sackville, Nova Scotia region. We met Gary 16 years ago. He's been a band member, and we met him at a jam session at a bluegrass festival. And he's a phenomenal mandolin player. He brings a lot of strength to the band, not only with his playing, but his songwriting, and as well he does a lot of behind-the-scenes work with our CDs and our bookings as well. Wendell Bootlier is our newest band member, and he's not that new because 10 years ago he was a band member. For about 2 years he spent on the road with us, traveled across Canada a couple times. Wendell's a great bass player, brings a lot of quality bass vocals to the band, as well as some great country songs.
We're going to talk a bit more in a moment. Play the song you said you had lined up for me.
Yeah,
what is it?
It's called Get Up the Banjo Man, and it's kind of an inspirational song, I guess, for anybody that wants to be a banjo player.
Hit it.
Mama took in wash and Papa worked at the mill. He worked nights most all the time, by day he ran his still. Hersey was a farmer with good rich bottom land, but that boy they called Get Up was a banjo man. Now you might be wondering how Get Up got his name. Mom'd holler, Get Up boy, but he'd sleep just the same. And when he finally rolled out, he had just one plan: pull that pipe down off the wall, 'cause he's a banjo man. He played Dixie Breakdown and Fiddle Special too. He'd play all Ralph's old songs just like they used to do. He'd twist the gears just like old Earl, working with both hands. That's the kind of life you live when you're a banjo man. Well, he finally quit his day job and joined the bluegrass band, playing at the station inn, entertaining fans. He's a master of the five, and you must understand, Get Up has done got up now, 'cause he's a banjo man. He played Dixie Breakdown and Fiddle Special too. He play all Ralph's old songs just like they used to do. He twist the gears just like old Earl, working with both